P.E.A.C.E. That spells peace. Positive energy always causes elevation. This is something created by Greer-Tony and promoter Keri Singleton to provide an opportunity for local youth to be both entertained and positively influenced by recording artists. This past Monday evening at the Chez Vous roller skating rink, the 2011 Peace Night kicked into high gear. This year's event hosted organizations that promote peace and healing and educate Boston's youth about achieving upward mobility and the need for higher education. The event's main feature was the filming of rapper T. Llama's music video with a central theme of peace in our streets. Joining me this morning to give us more insight about Peace Night is Thomas Ruffen. He's the owner and operator of Wise Men Marketing and Promotions. Wise Men Marketing and Promotions is constantly pushing the envelope to find ways to build and strengthen the community from within. Both T.J. Llama and Mr. Ruffen know the pain of violence in Boston streets, as they have both lost loved ones in Roxbury. Also with us this morning, Keri Singleton, who was born and raised right here in Roxbury. Mr. Singleton set his sights early on, following the footsteps of music industry idol Russell Simmons. Having lost his father to gun violence the day before Father's Day in 1996, Mr. Singleton knows firsthand the pain of being a victim of that violence that plagues the inner cities nationwide. He's been a speaker at youth rallies in Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, and Baltimore, and co-founded Peace Night at Chez Vous in 2008. Welcome to Urban Update, gentlemen. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Great. Keri Singleton, let me start with you. Tell us about how you put this whole thing together, you and the owner of Chez Vous, Greer-Tony. How did you come together to create Peace Night, and why?
Sure. Greer-Tony and I, we sat and we discussed the state of the community. This was back in 2008. Things weren't a lot different than they are now, to be truthful. Just a lot of violence, a lot of random violence in the Dorchester, Roxbury, and Mattapan communities. As you said earlier, I know the pain personally of being a survivor of homicide, and she and I decided we wanted to do something a little different, think outside the box, and put together something where the artists could come into Boston and interact with the kids and kind of inspire them as well as entertain them.
Thomas Ruffen, tell me why you've thrown your support behind Peace Night. You see this as a positive influence on the community. You're in marketing and promotions. Where are you coming at this thing from?
Just growing up and as a youth who was in and out of ESS and growing up on the streets of Boston, not having an organization to be my home, I should say. I grew up not having that void. I had an emptiness. So I had to find local. Can we do that over?
No, I think you're doing it quite well. You're explaining it quite well. You say you do have a personal connection. That's something you've, like other people, have lost loved ones in the community as well. Have you not? How has that, I guess, influenced your passion for doing something like this?
Like losing my mom. That helped me be able to. That helped me be able to say, hey, listen, I'm hurt. I needed an outlet to be able to say, I needed someone to love, someone to seriously.
And you see, we see the same thing. I think I know what you're getting at, Keri. You had the same type of situation, not the same situation, but you lost your father to gun violence back in 1996. I guess seeing what happens in our inner cities nationwide, seeing what happens here in Boston, how did that influence you in terms of wanting to come up with a project like this?
I think there's a lot of ways that people deal with their pain when it comes to being a homicide survivor, is what we technically, collectively call ourselves. Some people look for revenge, some people act out. I decided that I wanted to, in my own way, try to prevent other people from going through the same thing that I was going through. I didn't have an outlet. I didn't have, except for my family and the people at Chez Vous, I didn't really have a personal outlet where I could go and vent. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to channel my energy in a positive way. Try to lead by example and do something also to honor my father's memory also. He was a very big supporter of my music endeavors when he was alive, and I felt like what better way to honor his legacy than to do something positive that was music related as well as youth geared.
And we should point out that your father was killed in 1996.
The day before Father's Day that year, yes.
And my understanding is that there's been no one's been found. No one's been brought to justice.
The cold case, no arrests have ever been made. And so, like my brother, he's an author. He also works with the youth in Cambridge and Boston. Marcus Smith. So, I mean, my brother and I have both tried to use our personal tragedies to better the community as best we can.
Okay, we're going to take a pause. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We're going to have more conversation about Peace Night and how you can get involved. Stay with us. We'll be right back.